A somber anniversary tomorrow, marking 2 years since the Oxford school shooting left 4 students dead and a community on edge.
And today, a parent whose son was at school at the time of that mass shooting is speaking out about gun violence prevention. Fox News' Scott Wolchek with her story.
Just an overwhelming feeling of sadness.
The 2-year anniversary of the Oxford high school shooting is looming. 4 students were killed, 7 other people were injured. And as November 30th approaches, parents like Emily Bush remember like it was yesterday.
It was a day that changed so many lives. For me, it was a very scary day. It's something that I wish on no parent, no community, no child.
For Michelle McClellan, 2 of her kids were in Oxford High during the shooting.
They put me on a text thread looking for each other. You know, where are you? I'm here. Are you okay? I'm okay.
To prevent another tragedy like the Oxford shooting, parents and gun safety advocates gathered here at Oakland University today, hosting a roundtable, hoping to spark and inspire change.
Whether it's legislation, whether it's programming in schools, whether it's changing how we teach our children to be better to one another.
Emily says there's no simple solution, but the key is to come together. Discussed at the roundtable, gun safety legislation, mental health policy, and ways to raise awareness and save lives.
Federally, I'd love to see some real action as far as like gun control, like real solid background checks and maybe even banning certain weapons that don't make sense for people to have.
I hope that people are able to learn from this and understand that for those of us that have entrenched ourselves in this movement, we recognize that it is very complex, but yet we are very dedicated to finding solutions.
Reporting in Auburn Hills, Scott Wolchek, Fox 2 News.
A Westland man sentenced to life without parole for the murder of a Grand Blanc teen. Earlier this month, the jury found Avian Sanders guilty of first-degree murder for the death of 18-year-old Jacob Hills. Hills and Sanders met at a house party in Detroit in July of 2022. Hills brought his new AR-15 to show Sanders. It's believed when the pair went into the basement, Sanders killed Hills and then stole his gun. Hills' father getting very emotional when he spoke out in court today.
In the early hours of Monday, July 25th, we found you laying in the basement of a rundown apartment complex in a puddle of your own blood. I won't ever be able to remove any of these memories or images. Avian, I heard of you being a father. Why does that not mean anything to you? Because it meant everything to me. I now have to live the remainder of my life without my son.
Sanders has already been serving time in prison for resisting a police officer back in 2020.
Well, a store clerk will not be charged after a 17-year-old was shot and killed inside of a gas station in Detroit. The prosecutor says the 28-year-old employee was acting in self-defense when confronted at the Citgo on Dearborn Street near I-75. That happened last Saturday morning. Investigators say the teen walked into the gas station and went behind the clerk's counter. When the clerk confronted him, he saw the teen holding an object with his hands together, pointing it as if it was a gun. The clerk shot him several times, killing the victim.
Here at home, the community is making a powerful statement about the events taking place in the Middle East.
They're rallying for peace amid ongoing unrest in Gaza. Fox News' Hillary Golson explains what the protesters really want.
Stories are now emerging describing the terrifying conditions that hostages being held by Hamas were in. Wednesday, international mediators were calling for the release of additional hostages while pausing Israel's air and ground assault. The people here want the ceasefire to be long-term.
Words cannot convey the honors of the horrors of occupation being experienced by the Palestinians day to day. Intifada, intifada. Intifada,
intifada. A chorus of diverse voices crescendos advocating for an enduring armistice in Gaza and what has seemed like an all too elusive peace. Do you believe in a two-state solution? Is that, you think, the appropriate way to bring this to a conclusion? What do you think?
That's a really good question. Is it possible? I don't know. I think at one point it would have been nice.
Demonstrators along the river in Detroit here seeking a resolution to the protracted conflict. Their signs.
Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine!
and chants, a fervent yearning to rectify what is almost universally acknowledged as a humanitarian crisis. Food, fuel, and aid have been hard to come by. Weeks of heavy bombardment and a ground invasion have almost totally destroyed huge portions of Gaza and killed thousands of Palestinians.
If you think about how it would feel to have your cities bombed the way it is in Gaza, it's inhumane.
I'd prefer to pressure the United States government, which is complicit in all this, into two things. First of all, forcing a long-term ceasefire, like I said. Second of all, ending United States military aid to Israel.
According to United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestinian Refugees, 1.7 million of the territory's population of just over 2 million are internally displaced. Many are crammed into southern Gaza.
No state has a right to make a class of citizens lesser. No state has a right to commit genocide.
Despite the truce on Wednesday, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu underscored the fact that Israel will continue to root out Hamas. In Detroit, I'm Hillary Golston, Fox 2 News.
After striking for almost 3 months, Blue Cross Blue Shield employees could be heading back to work. The UAW has reached a tentative agreement with Blue Cross Blue Shield. The agreement includes a significant wage increase, inflation bonuses, and more. We're told Blue Cross employees are satisfied with this new progress.
Both are very happy. I've got a bunch of thank yous, a bunch of about time, a bunch of we stuck it out, we held the line. It looks like we got some of the things that we wanted. This is historic for any union member, regardless of what union you belong to. This is historic for us, the people that do the labor.
If the deal is approved, employees will not have to wait nearly as long to reach maximum pay, reducing the time from 22 years to just 5 years. UAW members will remain on strike until the contract is ratified.
Well, the spotlight on the city of Detroit today as Mayor Mike Duggan and state officials unveiled the first electric charging roadway in the entire country. The new wireless charging quarter-mile stretch is located on 14th Street near Michigan Central and will charge electric vehicles as they drive. Project officials are calling the innovation a major milestone. We're told plans are in the works to build a larger EV charging road along Michigan Avenue. Much more on today's road reveal coming up tonight on Fox 2 News at 6.
Well, pretty chilly out there. At least it started that way. The sun did warm things up as the day went on.
Yeah, and it kind of cheers you up a little bit, too. When it's cold and dreary, not as nice. But Stephanie Mead is in for Rich Luderman today, and she has a look at her forecast. What's it looking like for the rest of the week? Warmer, I hope.
Yes, we do have warmer temperatures, but we are factoring in more shower opportunities here and there. We did see quite a bit of sunshine, though, so that's a positive on our forecast today. Starting to see sunset, though. We officially see sun go down just before the 5 o'clock, or I should say just after it, rather, the 5 o'clock hour. Right now, temperatures are mainly in the 30s. Pretty much widespread. Lower 30s, 32 right now in the metro area. Likewise for those in Ann Arbor, 31. For those in Howell right now, 33 up near Flint. Wind conditions have also relaxed quite a bit, too. So our wind chill factors not nearly as bad as this morning. We're looking at winds anywhere between 10 to at most 15 miles per hour. Low to mid-20s is what it feels like outside. And we're in store for a dry evening tonight. There really isn't a whole lot going on here across much of the upper Midwest, Ohio Valley, the Great Lakes. A lot of that snow moving eastbound, so we don't have anything to worry about over the next, say, 24 to 36 hours. Numbers tonight will gradually fall through the upper 20s. A lot of us will bottom out mid to upper 20s overnight. Expect to see a low at 27. Wind chills mainly in the lower 20s overnight with winds relaxing as we head through the overnight hours, too. A little more milder as we head through the day tomorrow, and then rain chances return just in time, I should say, for this upcoming weekend. We'll have timing on that in the forecast here in just a few minutes. Taryn?